graduation as a BSc. Sir is working as Associate Professor at BML Munjal University, Gurgaon. Sir has 21 years of work experience in industry and academics. His areas of interest are business analytics, marketing analytics, and marketing research. His current research areas are recommendation engine, market basket analysis, text mining, environmentality, conscious consumer behavior, and machine learning for transforming the education. Dr. Chirag Malik is a member of Analytics Society of India, IIM Bangalore. He has published various research papers in Scopus indexed in Scopus Index, Science, Sage Publications, ABDC Indexed National and International Journals of Repute. Dr. Chirag Malik has also presented papers in many national and international conferences organized by reputed institutions such as IIM Indore, IIM Lucknow, IIM Ahmedabad, MDI Gurgaon, and IIM Roorkee. Sir has been session chair of various technical sessions at international conferences held at repute institutions. Sir has conducted workshops on research methodology and analytics using various statistical tools such as Python, R, SPSS, MOS, and Advanced Excel. We are really grateful to Sir for agreeing to be a part of this particular refresher course as a resource person. And on a personal note, when I, like any other resource person, which are so busy, but still when we request them to accommodate certain sessions in their busy schedule, definitely Sir gracefully accepted my offer of taking the session, for which I'm really thankful to him, Sir, because it is a holiday time and everything, but still you accepted my invite of being the resource person for this refresher course. Was very nice on your part. Thank you, Sir. I thank you on behalf of Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, as well as TLC Center Ramanujan College, for being the resource person for the session. Over to you now, Sir. I think, Sir, as we had agreed in our conversation yesterday, you will be answering the questions side by side. I'm there for you in the background, me and Dr. Purushottam, Sir. Any problem you have, Sir, we are there to help you out. Thank you.
That's great. So thank you so much, Dr. Anjali, for your kind words, the words of praise and all. That's great. So good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Chirag, as everyone knows. So let's start, and let's not waste our time, introducing and all. So let me share my screen first, and then we will start. And I hope that you must have received the PPTs that I have shared with you all, and the data sets as well. Okay. I'm so sorry. Like in the morning time, there is some, hoarseness in my voice. So please bear with me. Yeah. So I hope that you all can see my screen. And now let me start sharing my presentation and non-parametric test. Yeah. So this is something which we are going to discuss today, and we will learn from each other. I learn from yours experience, and and you might learn from my experience as well. So so let's start. Okay. So as far as my contact details are concerned, as I can be reached out at chiragmalik@yahoo.com, and this is my mobile number in case if you really want to reach me. Okay, so let's start. So Dr. Anjali, can you see my screen? Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible and you're audible, and you're also visible in the small icon out there, sir. So everything is fine, not an issue.
That's fine. That's fine. That's wonderful. So I am visible or not, that is not a big deal, but the screen has to be visible. Huh?
The screen is visible, and you are absolutely audible, sir. Not
okay. That's wonderful. That is the best thing. Yeah. So, so before jumping on to the topic, I would like to share with you all that these are few books which actually I referred to. So I thought, let me share these books with you. These books, I really found these books very good books actually in the area of research, in the area of statistics, and the area of SPSS as well. So three areas that we have been talking today, we'll be talking today. One is the statistics that we are going to discuss. Second is the research part of statistics we are going to discuss. We are collaborating research with statistics, and we will also, use SPSS to do our research and statistics kind of, calculations and all. Okay, that's great. Now, I found these books, good books, does not mean the other books are not good books. The other books are bad books. No. So this is just a kind of, reference, that you can always refer to these books. Huh? So first is the Business Research Methods, very good book actually. Cooper, Schindler, everyone knows about this book. So in case if you want to understand some concept related to research, please go through this particular book. Okay. However, in case if you have some other book of business research methodology, you can refer to that book as well. And the second book, which actually I believe is a wonderful book, as far as this book is the authority as far as when you talk about um, uh, when you get confused somewhere, when you get two opinions of a particular concept, then you can always give citation to of this particular book, and then you can opt one of them. This is something which you would really like to. So Marketing Research and Applied Orientation, Naresh K. Malhotra, wonderful book. Satyabhushan Dash. And the Statistics for Business and Economics, this is the book which would definitely is going to help you to understand basics of statistics in a very simple and sweet language. So Anderson, Sweeney, and Williams actually have done a wonderful job for making us understand how to work, how to make or apply statistics in the world of business and economics. So and this is the fourth, and the fourth book is Discovering Statistics Using IBM SPSS. Andy Field, everyone knows about it. So Andy Field is the book which you always can cite in case if you are stuck somewhere, then you can always refer to this book. So this book has a dual advantage. One, this book talks about the SPSS, and the second thing, this book talks about the statistics. So both ways. So I request you to refer to these books to understand the research, to understand the the analytic part, means analytics part, and the I would say sometimes you get confused. So for citations as well, these books actually do a good job, and and understanding SPSS. Then, however, SPSS or some other tool for that matter, that hardly matters for us. Why? Because what is important is to understand what to do, okay, and how to do. And these softwares like SPSS, like R, like Python, like Excel, these kind of softwares are always there to help us doing that particular, you know, uh, analytical technique. Okay, so please do not get more into the tool. Okay, tool is something which you can learn within minutes. Now, it will take 15 minutes to learn SPSS, but it takes a lot of time, means longer time in case if you want to understand what to apply where. Okay, so this is something which I would like to share with you all. Now let's talk about something very important, and the assumptions of parametric test, because what our topic is non-parametric test. So what happens that the bigger question that comes in our mind is why to do non-parametric test, why to do non-parametric test. So people say, yeah, it's very simple. When the assumptions are not met for the continuous data, then we cannot apply parametric test. These are the, this is a very simple answer of where to apply non-parametric test. But this is actually not a sufficient answer. No, you know why? Because it's not always you have a continuous data. It's not always that you have a data which is numeric in nature. Sometimes you have a data which is absolutely characters, absolutely string data, means categorical data. So how you are going to how you are going to find the association between categorical data. What is this categorical data, and what do I mean by the word association we are going to discuss today? Okay, so don't think that known parametric tests are only meant for these meant as the substitute of parametric test. When the assumptions are not met, we'll use non-parametric. Yes, that is absolutely correct. But we have other, motives to actually do non-parametric test. What are those other motives? We are going to discuss. And how to do non-parametric test, that this is also we are going to discuss. So very interesting, actually, concept. I really like this personally. So I would like to, make it, interesting for you all as well. This is what I hope. Okay. So in case if you have any doubt when I am talking about something, you can always write your question in question and answer. Okay. Okay. So kindly suggest a book for all the social science researchers. Yes, absolutely. You can always, Dr. Maji, you, these books are wonderful book. The books which actually I have suggested. So once you understand the concept of research methodology, so doing research in social sciences is not a big deal. Okay. So, however, there are few very important, some, contextual and uh, conceptual, both, kind of, aspects of social sciences are there where we need more of qualitative analysis of the data. Then we will be thinking of something else. However, these books are predominantly for quantitative analysis, not qualitative analysis. Okay. So all the books, so this is a corollary to that particular assumption that these books are good book. Yes, books are wonderful book, but as far as the quantitative analysis is concerned. But for qualitative, you actually have to go and and refer to some other books as well. I don't know why organizers not attending my query. Now I am attending your query, Dr. Sabitri. So don't worry. Okay, so even you can speak, so don't worry about that. Okay, so in case if some of your queries has been left in previous sessions, you can raise right now as well. I
So,
would not
sir,
say.
it's not just that due to paucity of time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
maybe it
yeah,
gets
yeah.
missed.
Yes,
But
yes.
I just request the participants that we will not be losing the queries if the same are being put up in Q&A in case, instead of chat box.
Mhm.
Because in the chat box, they get lost in between the good mornings and hello, no matter how many times we keep on saying that.
Yeah. So
So I
that is
just
again
request,
a limitation. Yes,
yes, sir.
everyone. This is again a limitations. We have more than 400 participants. I think I can see the number of participants right now as 374. So everybody's queries, to be taken. Everybody's queries are
So,
really a bit
yes, sir.
difficult.
So we'll be
Mhm.
more, I think we'll be in a better position to handle the queries if the same are being put up in Q&A
Yes,
instead
yes.
of chat
Mhm.
box. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
yes, absolutely correct. I hope you understand the point raised by, Anjali ma'am. Kindly, could you suggest a few e-books, sir, ma'am, or the Dr. Manjula, if I'm, taking it right as ma'am. See, Dr. Manjula, uh, all these books are also available as an e-book. Okay, ma'am. So you can always, search the e-books for these books. You will easily get. Huh? Which research book is the best for computer science, since we have to do experiments during research? Yeah, absolutely correct. So this is so Dr. Manish, let me tell you, as far as the experimental researches are concerned, yes, you have to refer to books which are very good in experimental research. And I'm sorry to say that right now in India, we have, no book which really is really, I would say that's a wonderful book as far as the experimental research is concerned. So, however, there are so many other books of Wiley publication which are in experimental research. However, new books have also started coming in. So you can refer to those experimental researches book only. Okay, but let me tell you, Dr. Manish, one more thing that, books, in case if you refer to these books, then, understanding experimental research would be a cakewalk for you. Please go through these books. So don't jump onto, this is my area, so why should I read these books? No. So this is something which is the basic and the fundamentals of all the books, okay? Dr. Abida Akhtar, sir, kindly elaborate the concept of population should have equal variances. That we will be discussing about that. A small, I'll tell you, Dr. Abida. We will be discussing about that. Don't worry. Okay, why the population? So I will take it up in a very simple way, not the mathematical point of view. Why the variances have to be equal? We will be discussing about that. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the conditions for, so when I say assumptions, what do you mean by assumptions? So in case if something is being assumed, then it is being assumed. So why to think of this? So I have assumed that. No, this is not the case actually. So assumptions means when you perform some particular test and show me the result, then I have already assumed that you have actually satisfied all the conditions of of applying parametric tests. That is why these are called assumptions. Okay, assumptions that does not mean that you have done, you have assumed something. No. So assumptions here, in case if we want to understand in a very simple language, these are the conditions for doing parametric test. So since you have done the parametric test like t test, like a nova, that is f test. So since you have done that, so you must have read about this particular assumption. So one assumption is observation must be independent, means it has to be a continuous random variable. So in case if I go deep into continuous random variable, it will take 2 hours to discuss continuous random variable. So what I would say here, I would just say that observation must be independent means your observations have to be taken from first of all probability sampling. Probability sampling means you are not biased while doing the randoms, right, while doing the sampling. This is one. Second thing which is very important to understand here is independent means one observation is not influencing the other observation. Now what does that mean? How can one observation influences the other observation? Like in case if I take the example of, say, there are 10 students in a classroom, and I would like to measure the height of those 10 students. Okay, then does the height of one student affects the height of other? No, not at all. So those observations, 10 observations are actually independent observations. But what is the case? Where is that case where I found that one observation is influencing the other? Just think of time series. Think of time series. Now, what happens in time series? The one observation, for example, say the stock price. Just see the sales in not the sales. The stock price, say on a particular day, depends on the stock price on the other day. Okay, the next day, or again the stock price on the third day will depend upon the stock price on the second day. So how it is happening? So see, the observations are not independent of each other. Okay, so this is very important. So you must know where to apply parametric tests, that observations have to be independent. But when we work on cross-sectional data, now what is this cross-sectional data? Cross-sectional data is the data which actually you have chosen a particular sample and taken the observation once. Okay, so that is called cross-sectional data, and the observations are also not dependent on each other. So that is called independent observations. Okay, so however, we take it for granted to actually understand there's the continuous random variable, because most of the cross-sectional data is independent actually. That is why we take it for granted. Okay, now however, we are going to measure the independence of categorical data. Now how to actually measure the independence of categorical data, that we will be discussing. Okay, that is the part of non-parametric test. The observation should be drawn from a normally distributed population. Data should be normally distributed. Now, what does that mean? It means that, in case if you want to see, the answer of this particular assumption lies in the fact that it is not the population that you are working upon. You are working on a sample. And what do you want? You want to apply the results of this sample onto the population. Agreed or not? Means you take a sample, study that particular sample, and then you really want to apply whatever the results that you have got from the sample onto the population. So it means that in case if your population is not normally distributed, and hence your sample, because your sample has to be sufficiently large so that it has to follow a normal distribution, you cannot apply the results of your sample onto your population. Very simple. So that is why, t-test is a test which actually talks about distributions. Let me tell you, parametric tests are the tests which are also called as distribution based tests. Okay, and non-parametric tests are the tests which are actually called non-distribution based tests. वहां distribution की बात ही नहीं होती है, कोई distribution नहीं है साहब. Okay, so in that case, when distribution is not there, we talk about non-parametric tests. When distribution is there, when we are talking about some distribution, then parametric test. So you have to take care of the distribution. That is why we call it as normal distribution. Should follow the normal distribution. So population should have equal variances. This is the fourth condition, very important condition. Now, what does that mean? See, let us understand. It's not very simple terminology. See, how can you, first of all, let's take an example of two sections of your college, one section A and section B. Now the students in section A has their, say they are MBA, okay, MBA sections, okay. So in their graduation, the student of MBA had the percentage of ranging from 40% to 98%. The students of section A had their percentage in graduation ranging from 40% to 98%. So the variance is very high. Now coming on to this section B. In section B, what happens that, the students of section B have, percentage in their graduation, that is scoring percentage in their graduation, ranging from 70% to 90%. Okay. Now I would like to compare these two sections. Okay, I would like to know whether section A is intelligent, the IQ level of section A is more, or the IQ level of section B is more. But before comparing, I must ask a question to myself. Can I compare these two sections? Are these two sections comparable? So am I doing justice by comparing two unequal people? So that is why, we call it, when you want to compare two populations, when you want to compare two categories, then categories have to have equal variances at least. However, Levine is a person, is a statistician, Mr. Levine. He said that, even if the variances are not equal, however, ideally you should not go. In case if the variances are not equal, you should not perform t-test, okay, or parametric test. But still he has given us a way. Even if the variances are not equal, even then you can perform parametric test. Okay, so but the test, the strength of the test reduces when the population variances are not equal. So it has to be similar. You cannot compare an orange with an apple. So both have to have similar characteristics. So variance is the characteristic which has to be similar when you want to compare two populations, two samples. Okay, and the fifth or the fourth, whatever, the measurement should be at least interval so that all the arithmetic can be used. Now what does that mean? That the measurement should be at least interval. Now at least interval means what? So this is something which we always get confused with. We will be discussing it. after a short while. Okay, so why I am calling it as at least interval? Why not ordinal and nominal, at least? So why at least? We will discussing about that. Last is the no outliers. No, this is something which, why I don't know why I have written this no outliers here. This is something which I should not have written here. Why? Because in case if there is some outlier, the population will not be a normally distributed. Very simple. No? Then the data is not normally distributed. Then this is one and the same thing. So anyone of say can say that, sir, या तो आप लिखिए नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन या आप लिखिए नो आउटलायर. बात तो एक ही है. Yes, you are right. Absolutely correct. बात एक ही है. Okay. So ये मैंने इसलिए लिख दिया because you should check outliers. Huh? In case if there are some, please remove that. So in case if you want to do parametric test, and very simple, people actually say, you must have heard of this line, parametric tests are more stronger, much stronger than the non-parametric test. Yes, absolutely correct. This is a very good line. But what if, what ऐसे तो बहुत अच्छी बहुत सिंपल सी बात है, आप किसी कॉलोनी में रहते हैं, you are living in some colony, but there are some posh colonies as well. So why don't you live there? So no, I cannot afford that. So fine. So what is the choice? So you have to live here in this colony. In the same fashion, when you are not meeting the assumption, then how can you do these strong tests? How can you do these strong tests? You have to do the weak test. That is non-parametric. It's very simple. But sometimes the matter is not strong or weak. The matter is your data type. What if your data type is not such that you are performing parametric tests? You cannot. And let's understand those conditions where you cannot do any parametric test. What are those conditions? What kind of data that is where we cannot perform any parametric test? So let's discuss about that as well. Okay. Q&As, so many Q&As. Which research book is best for computer? हो गया. Thank you, sir. Okay, that's not. ऊपर भी है कुछ है. बरखा रानी. When we doesn't know about the character of population, or we are unaware that the population parameter, can we use non-parameter? Yes, absolutely you can. But given a choice, you should always go for parametric test, not non-parametric test. But the thing is, you need to see, this is something like when I have written here, the observation should be drawn from normally distributed population, but you do not know the distribution of the population. What can you do? The only thing which you should do is increase your sample size. Write in your thesis, write in your research papers. Since you do not know the distribution of your population, that is why you have taken your sample size as a sufficiently large sample size, and make that sample as a normally distributed. Because what is central limit theorem? In case if you increase the sample size, the sampling distribution of means tend to be normally distributed. So this is central limit theorem. So that is why I'm saying check the normality of your data. Now, why should I check the normality? Population has to be normally distributed, not my data. But if your data is sufficiently large, it will behave like your population. Okay, this is the answer, madam. Okay, चलिए आगे बात करते हैं. Very important thing, this fourth point, the measurement should be at least interval, so that all the arithmetic can be used. So let's understand that. 3 participants raise hand. अभी तो मैंने कुछ पढ़ाया ही नहीं, तो फिर आप क्यों, why you are raising your hand? Fine. In case if so, so Dr. Anjali, what can we do with these people who are raising their hands? Should we give something on their hands so that they can put their hand down? Yes. 3 participants. Who are these 3 participants? Can I ask them to speak? Yes. Anyone? Dr. Anjali, are you there, or some other person? Am I audible? Yes. No, I'm not. This is Dr. Anjali. Are you there? Or some other administrator? Chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible. Okay, I'm audible. Then why, where are the administrators? Dr. Anjali, are you there? Dr. Kaushik, कौन से थे वो, है ना? Dr. Purushottam. Yes, Dr. Purushottam, are you there? Tushti says, sir, if I have selected a sample using probability sampling, but still due to unknown errors, I got few such units which made my sample data not to be normally distributed. Fine. So in such case, should I remove outliers first to make my data normal and then go for test, and you suggest and go back to field and collect few more units data? That's again both the answers are correct, absolutely, Tushti, and it's a very good question as well, Tushti. The thing is, uh, yes, in case if you increase the data, it may be possible that the outliers which you actually finding them as outliers are not the outliers, because the more data has come which has made them known outliers. Now they are not the outliers. So this is the option, this is the alternative that you have to collect more data. Or in case if you have the limitation of collecting the data, you should not go for collecting more data and just remove the outliers and then see the distribution there. Okay, so that you can do. So both the options are open for you, madam. That's great. Okay, chaliye. People who are raising hand, they can speak as well in case if they can unmute themselves. Okay, so let me not waste my time. We have very less time and we have so many things to do. Okay. So this is the whiteboard that I'll be using for you all. In case if you want me to share this whiteboard with you all, I can share that as well. Just a minute. Let me switch on my. Yeah. Yes. Can you see my screen? This whiteboard, can you see? Anyone? Okay. Uh, Dr. Anjali, should I call her? Because Dr. Anjali, are you there? Let me call her, because I am not able to hear. However, I can see the chat and people are saying, yes, sir, your whiteboard is visible. Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So, Dr. Anjali Gupta is not picking up the phone. Fine. So let's talk about, since you must have studied in your previous sessions about 4 types of data, 4 types of measurement scale, and that is nominal, and then you studied about ordinal, and then you studied about interval, and then you studied about ratio. So these 4 types of data types or data measurement scale that you studied about. And we know that these 2 types, that is nominal and ordinal, are nothing but strings. Okay, and these are nothing but the characters. Okay, it is nothing but the text, ऐसे ही होता है. Okay, even if they are depicted, they are being they have given some sort of coding, so that is also being considered as string or character. For example, nominal data is nothing but any data which actually which is, so nominal scale is being used to identify the respondent. That is what we know, to, in case if I want to give a name to a respondent, then I would say it's a nominal data. In case if I want to assign a gender to a particular respondent, then I would say it's a nominal data. In case if I want to say, say for example, it's not a human, say it is a device, okay, then would say it is a device with two points. It's a device with 2 points and a device of 3 points. Again, it's a nominal data because I'm identifying the device with 2 points or the 3 points. So it is not 2 and 3, it is the point, the identification marks, okay. So when you identify something, that is called the nominal, and then what is the difference between nominal and ordinal? Only one difference. It is also a nominal data. Ordinal data is also a nominal data, but with one more feature. And what is that one more feature? It has got an order as well. Means order in the sense, not some other order, not some alphabetical order. No, it is either ascending or descending order. You can put, for example, your graduation, say not graduation, your education qualification, so 10th, 12th, graduation, PG. No, these are, so I can identify the respondent with their qualification, but at the same time, the qualifications can also be arranged in some ascending or descending order. So that becomes a ordinal scale. Very simple. Now, my point is not to teach you these two things because these two, nominal and ordinal, these four actually. My point here is very simple, to tell you collectively, let's make our life simpler. And how can we make our life simpler? By just reducing our tension, our stress. So let's not get into nominal and ordinal. Let's call them collectively as categorical data. Let's call them as categorical data. So whenever we find anything where mean cannot be calculated, or in case if we can calculate the mean is not meaningful. Mean is not meaningful. That data is a categorical data because they actually divide the entire sample into categories. So that is why I call it as a categorical data. Okay. And what is this interval and ratio scale? You must have studied about interval scale. For example, temperature is an interval scale, but ratio is any number. Say, for example, height. Okay. Now, here comes a very interesting difference. Now, what is the interesting difference? When I say the temperature is 0, when I say temperature is 0, I mean something. But when I say height is 0, I mean nothing. It means there is no one. Can you say some material, even electron, has got some height? 10 raised to the power minus 34 kind of, in this kind of height. So even electron has got some height, so it's not 0. When I say 0, means 0.00, infinite zeros, 0.000. Okay. So this is the difference. This is the difference. Okay. So the difference is here in interval scale, we have arbitrary 0. We have arbitrary 0. So I will not waste your time because I know that you know the difference between interval and ratio scale. What is my point? And this is absolute 0. ऐसा बोलते हैं ना? So 0 means 0. 0 means nothing. But collectively, let me make my life simpler and call it as continuous data. कुछ लोग इसको स्केल बोलते हैं, जैसे SPSS कहता है ये स्केल है. SPSS क्या बोलता है? स्केल. आपने देखा भी होगा SPSS में क्या होता है. SPSS में डेटा टाइप्स में जाते हैं, वहां पे लिखा होता है नॉमिनल, ऑर्डिनल एंड स्केल. क्यों स्केल क्यों बोलता है? इंटरवल और रेशियो अलग अलग क्यों नहीं बोलता? We have a reason behind that. So इसको बोलते हैं कंटिन्यूअस डेटा. इसके पीछे रीजन क्या हो सकता है? भाई देखिए बहुत सिंपल है. Now this reason is, be it temperature where the 0 is arbitrary, or be it height where 0 is fixed, does it matter for mathematics? No. So can you subtract 16 degrees Celsius from 8, like from say from 20 degrees Celsius? Yes, I can subtract. So can I take the ratio? Yes, I can. So what is that thing which I cannot do on interval scale data and which I can do on ratio scale data? Nothing. I can do everything. So SPSS says, see, when SPSS says that, see, I do only calculations, mathematical calculations. When all the mathematical calculations is are possible on interval and ratio scale, then why should I differentiate? Okay, so in that case, so what is the problem? Problem is zero. Say for example, 8 degrees Celsius was the temperature in Shimla yesterday, and today it was, it reduced to 8 degrees Celsius. So what is the temperature in Shimla? It is zero. Zero means no temperature in Shimla right now? No. In Shimla, temperature is zero. Zero means freezing temperature. So SPSS will subtract 8 minus 8. But what is the meaning of zero that you will define? You know it better. So that is why SPSS says, for me, I cannot differentiate. मैं तो धर्मनिरपेक्ष हूँ, है ना, ऐसे बोलता है. So मैं तो नहीं इसमें कोई differentiate करूँगा interval and ratios के में, because for me mathematical calculations are absolutely same. So what is my point? My point is, so now अब हम उस चीज से बाहर आ गए. किस चीज से बाहर आ गए? Nominal, ordinal. So we have two types of data only. So one is categorical data. So we have made our life simpler. And second is continuous data. Okay. So here, when I have shown you this particular slide, that the measurement should at least be interval, so that all arithmetic can be used. So it means that in case if you go by this hierarchy, nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio, so here the author says that at least be interval. भैया देखिए interval तो हो ताकि mathematical को operation कर सकें, क्योंकि in nominal and ordinal you cannot do any mathematical operation. अच्छा बताइए ना क्या कर सकते हैं आप? Say this is the gender of the respondent: male, female, female, male, male, female. Now what mathematical operation can you do? Nothing. Male is equal to 2 and 1 2 3. Male is equal to 3 and female is equal to 3. Anything else? Nothing. कुछ नहीं कर सकते आप. Only count. So that is why. So in categorical data, the categorical data, we can only do the frequency. We can only count the frequency. But in case of continuous, we can do a lot of statistical operations. तो इसीलिए हमारा concern हमेशा ये रहता है. But that does not mean that categorical data is not important. Sometimes it is very important. ऐसा हो सकता है. देखिए, and hence the importance of non-parametric test. देखिए एक example लेते हैं. बड़ा interesting सा example है. Now the Delhi police says, Delhi police says that the number of accidents actually depend upon the day. ऐसा है, हमें ऐसा लगता है. Means if it is Monday, okay, if it is Monday and if it is Tuesday, if it is Wednesday, if it is Friday, Saturday, and so on, then the number of say X. So they have given a kind of they have done a kind of categorization. If it is more than 50, high number. If it is equal to 50, it is normal number. And if it is less than 50, then a low number of accidents. So on Monday it is say high, and so this is low and this is normal, and then it is low and then this is normal. And you would like to see the association between the day of the week and the accident number status, whether it is high number of accidents, low number of accidents, and so on. So in that case, you cannot perform any parametric test. No parametric test, only non-parametric test. अच्छा, एक चीज और भी, वो भी बड़ा परेशान करती है ये. What is this parametric? What is the meaning of this parametric? And what is the meaning of non-parametric? Why we call it as parametric? Because in parametric test, you actually use parameters. What does that mean? You use parameters like and the best estimator parameter is mean. So since you use mean and standard deviation and variance, you use mean, standard deviation, and variance, which are actually the parameters and good estimators of a particular technique and the concept, then we call it as a parametric test, because we do not use mean, variance, and standard deviation in non-parametric test. So we call it as non-parametric because we are not using these mean, standard deviation, and kind of variance. So that is why we call it as parametric and non-parametric. I hope now it is clear for you all. Okay, so now we have understood two concepts, very important concept, that when the data is categorical, you cannot perform. So however, you can also think of from the other point of view, ki, sir, since we do not have the distribution, that is why we cannot perform any parametric test. Yes, you are right. You're on your part. Okay, yes. But you cannot calculate the mean. Can you calculate the mean of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? You cannot. Can you calculate the mean of high, low, normal? No, cannot. So in that case, since you do not have mean, so how can you perform the test? How can you perform F test? Very simple. So you have to go to what? Non-parametric. So non-parametric is, are the tests which are not only the substitute of, parametric tests, but they actually give something else as well for categorical data. Categorical means nominal and ordinal scale data. I hope now you have understood the concept of, nominal means categorical and continuous. So these two things you have to always keep in your mind. So in case if I have a data set, so say for example, this is the data set I have. So I have opened it for you. Yes, can you see my screen, my data set? Anyone? Dr. Anjali, are you there? Dr. Purushottam, anyone? Okay. No one? So let me see the chat box. Yes, sir, we can see the data. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Harleen. Thank you so much, Seema. Thank you. Okay. Now, if you look at my data set, this is the number of variables are the very beautiful data set. So let me tell you one more thing. Always look at your data set. Try to understand your data, because your data is something which is going to give you so many things. So do not ignore your data and try to understand your data very well. जैसे अपने बच्चे को संभाल के समझ के उसके साथ behave करना होता है ना, as you behave with your kid, in the same fashion you actually have to first understand your data and then behave with it. So very important. So data को ऐसे ही समझना चाहिए, है ना, बहुत important होता है. चलिए, so in case if we look at this data set, we have number of variables. So in case if I look at first variable, that is gender, I can easily make out it is a nominal data. So we call it as a categorical, because what we have decided, we will not speak nominal and ordinal. Okay, but we have decided we'll not speak nominal and ordinal. We will say categorical. Yes, it's a categorical. Why it is categorical? Because it is dividing the population into two categories, male and female. Yes, in the same fashion, age category. In the same fashion, we have profession. The same. So all these are the categorical data. Smoking, yes and no. The profession now, in case if we go to profession, just see profession also. It has got, I think, 4 or 5 categories. So it's a categorical data because it's dividing the entire sample into 5 categories. Smoking status, whether the person smokes or not. So yes or no, 2 categories. So it's a categorical data. Calorie intake, it's not categorical. It is continuous, because here you can calculate the mean. Very simple. So let us make our life very simple. In case if we can calculate the mean, and the mean is meaningful, है ना। आप ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं, आपका कोई भरोसा नहीं, आप कह दें कि सर जेंडर को मेल को 1 कर देते हैं, फीमेल को 2 कर देते हैं, सो 1 2 1 1 2 हो गया, उसका तो मीन निकाल सकते हैं, है ना। सो दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव सेड दैट मीन हैज टू बी मीनिंगफुल एज वेल. So what is the meaning of the gender of the population, or the gender of the population? The mean gender of the population is 1.76. What does that mean? इसका कुछ मतलब ही नहीं है. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि mean gender of a sample is 1.5? This is meaningless, है ना. So you have to be very careful. So in case if you cannot calculate the mean, or if the mean is meaningless, it is a categorical data. Simple. Okay. So calorie intake is a continuous data. Weight is also continuous data. Why it is continuous data? You can calculate the mean weight. Simple. Smoking after treatment, it's a categorical data. You cannot calculate the mean. Weight after treatment, yes, we can easily calculate the weight. Very simple. If we can easily calculate the weight, means what? Mean weight, it means it's a continuous data. Brand preference, is it continuous or categorical? It is categorical. We cannot calculate mean. So now our life has become simple. So just two data types. चलिए अब हम अपनी इस बात को खत्म करके थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं. We have very less time, or now I would like you to understand where to apply what, how to, like which particular test is being applied in which particular situation. Very important, because in case if you understand that, then we can easily make the non-parametric substitute of that particular test. So it is very simple. So let's do that. So in case if we have two variables, variable 1 and variable 2, okay. So in case if variable 1 is categorical, and variable 2 is continuous, and we would like to know the relationship between these two variables, we do t-test. Okay. And in case of the variable 1, so this is case number 1, this is case number 2. Variable 1 is categorical and variable 2 is continuous, we do a NOVA, means our F-test. Now, you must be thinking, okay, sir, ये क्या लिख दिया? दोनों में same लिख दिया, sir, कुछ गड़बड़ी है? No, गड़बड़ी नहीं है. एक catch है. Here we have a catch. And what is that catch? The number of categories are exactly 2 in case of t-test. But in case of F-test, in case of ANOVA, the number of categories in categorical variable is more than 2. Simple. Okay. And what is the third case? Third case is when variable 1 is categorical and variable 2 is also categorical. Which test you should go for? Chi-square test. Okay. And there's fourth case as well. Now, what would be the fourth case? By variable 1 is continuous, variable 2 is continuous. Which particular test you go for? Carl Pearson, ये तो हम क्लास 9 से करते आ रहे हैं, कक्षा 9 से. Carl Pearson coefficient of correlation R. Very simple. So this is something which we need to understand. Then in case if we have two variables, okay, and we would like to see the relationship, and which test that we have to go for. So these are the tests that we should go for. So this is t-test, ANOVA, chi-square, and Carl-Pearson. So what is the substitute of t-test in non-parametric? Non-parametric. अब यहाँ पर assumptions met नहीं होती हैं. अब क्या करें, कहाँ जाएं? So for that, let's do Mann-Whitney U-test. Mann-Whitney U-test. ANOVA, let's do Kruskal-Wallis test. Kruskal-Wallis test. Chi-square in itself, when both are categorical, you cannot perform t-test or ANOVA. You have to do the chi-square only. And here we have Candle-Tau in case of Carl-Pearson, or Spearman rank correlation. Spearman's rank correlation. So this is how we actually perform non-parametric tests. Okay. But still, there are so many things which we need to understand, because the thing is how to identify and how to do that testing. Because आपका ये प्रश्न भी हो सकता है कि सर कैसी बातें कर रहे हो आप, टी टेस्ट तो आपने लिख दिया, मगर यहाँ भी समस्या है सर। क्या समस्या है सर? इज इट वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट? Is it two independent sample t-test? Sir, it is paired sample t-test. अब उसके लिए क्या करेंगे? So we will discuss about that. कि भैया उसमें क्या करने वाले हैं हम, है ना? Okay. ANOVA 1B ANOVA में हम क्या करने वाले हैं? chi-square तो हो गया. Okay. So we will discuss about that. Yes. Any? Can I see the questions? Okay. ये कौन है? Tushti, I have already taken the question of Prasanna Kumar. Dear sir, can you give examples pertaining to social sciences research so that our understanding level will also be enhanced? Social sciences, like in case if I talk about social sciences, I have not, as of now, Prasanna ji, I have not taken any example which is particularly in the area of some hardcore quantitative, hardcore. I'm just talking about male female kind of data types and all, wherein you can easily see that most of the social sciences research you have categorical data. So I think in social sciences we make more use of chi-square test, and we are going to do that. So I think that will be more relevant for your studies, Mr. Prasanna. Okay, just wait. Likert scale is ordinal or interval. जगदीश साहब ने क्या क्वेश्चन किया है ना, हिला दिया जगदीश साहब ने। देखिए जगदीश साहब, बहुत ये क्वेश्चन तो आपका बहुत प्यारा है, ठीक है, बट द थिंग इज हमारे पास समय कम है, तो मैं आपको एक ही बात बोलूंगा, जब भी आप कंफ्यूज हो, ऐसी कुछ चीज हो, तो प्लीज एक बार please read that N.K. Malhotra's book. Dr. N.K. Malhotra, Naresh K. Malhotra, he says in his book that Likert scale is an interval scale. वो ऐसा बोलते हैं. So ordinal scale भी इसको कहा जाता है. जैसे नासिक है, कभी महाराष्ट्र में तो कभी कहाँ जाता है, गुजरात में. In the same fashion, Likert scale can also be. No, but if you go by the definition of interval scale. Now, what is the definition of interval scale? The definition of interval scale is it can attain any value and the zero is arbitrary. So in Likert scale, zero is arbitrary. Okay, zero is arbitrary. And Jagdish, let me tell you a very important thing, which and then after that you will never ask this question. Okay, I'm sure. The thing is, how, just see this, Jagdish, just see. Why are you so concerned about which particular test this Likert scale has, or which particular which particular measurement scale Likert has? Because Likert, you are talking about one statement. Statement one. I love chocolates. So this is strongly disagree, strongly disagree, and then neutral, and then agree, and then strongly agree. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the problem with Likert scale is this one statement of Likert scale has no value. No. How does it matter to me that which particular scale this particular statement has? Because I am not going to analyze this statement or standalone. No, I am not. In case if I am doing that, I am wrong. Okay, then it is not a Likert scale. Now Likert is a scale which actually measures something, which is a collection of statements. Statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, and statement 5. and these 5 statements, they come together and make a particular scale. Now your question should be, sir, ये जो नया स्केल आया, पांचों स्टेटमेंट को बना करके, ये कौन सा स्केल है, ये कौन सा मेजरमेंट स्केल है, which scale it is, okay, which scale it is, ये पूछिए आप क्वेश्चन. ये क्यों पूछते हैं आप, because you don't have to analyze one statement of Likert scale. In case if you are doing that, you are wrong. Okay, beta. So in that case, I'm so sorry in case if I'm saying beta and your age is, maybe higher than me. So because I have this habit, so please don't take it, that meaning. So it's so meaningful. So fine. So Jagdish here. So then you will be thinking of, okay, sir, fine. So statement 1, statement 2, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, statement 5. Okay, these 5 statements. Now, what is this scale? It's very scale. Why Likert scale is also called a summated scale? इसे क्यों कहा जाता है summated scale? Because you actually take, for example, if my, my response to these statements are say 4, 3, 4, 5, 4. Okay. So what is my total score? 4, 4, 4, 12, 15, 20. So 20 is my total score. And what is my average score? Average of all these 5 statements. So this is 20 upon 5. This is 4. So my average score is 4. For example, what if I have 21? So it would be around 4.25. So this was my average score. So what is this scale? It is a continuous scale. अब बताइए, ना ordinal रहा आपका, ना आपका interval रहा. ये continuous scale है. It has got a continuous scale because now every respondent will get some value which can be accommodated from 1 to 5 as average score, and it can attain any value on this continuum. So it is a continuous scale. So why are you concerned about single statement scale? No need. Okay, so that is why. But if you still want to know कि सर क्या है, तो बताइए एक स्केल, आप एक ही स्टेटमेंट का बताइए. अगर मैं सिर्फ एक ही स्टेटमेंट करना चाहता हूँ, सो डॉक्टर नरेश के मल्होत्रा बोलते हैं साहब ये इंटरवल स्केल है. लेकिन कमाल की बात तो ये है कि why I call it as interval scale, because you can take the average of all the response, है ना, because ये ऐसा भी हो सकता है. Now second thing, आप इसको ऑर्डिनल स्केल क्यों बोलते हैं? बिकॉज ऑर्डिनल स्केल क्यों बोल सकते हैं? वो इसलिए बोल सकते हैं बिकॉज द अनदर प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ ऑर्डिनल स्केल इज यू कैन नॉट कैलकुलेट द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ डिफरेंस. आपको पता है कि ये भी ऑर्डिनल स्केल की प्रॉपर्टी होती है कि 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ये किसी का आया. सो ये था न्यूट्रल और ये था डिसएग्री. नो, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन 3 - 2? व्हाट इज द मैग्नीट्यूड? ये न्यूट्रल कितना है और डिसएग्री कितना है, आपको पता ही नहीं है. डिसएग्री और स्ट्रांगली डिसएग्री के बीच में कितना डिफरेंस है, यू नेवर नो. तो ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉपर्टी है ऑर्डिनल स्केल की, इसलिए लोग कंफ्यूज जाते हैं, यार ये तो ऑर्डिनल स्केल है, ऐसा बोल देते हैं लोग. तो आपका कंफ्यूजन सही है, मगर why to get into confusion? We do not need. Okay, Jagdish, great. हाँ जी अंजलि मैम. हाँ, because nobody was there, so I was calling the names because just I wanted to clarify something. So that is why. So in case if you're there, okay, thank you. Okay ji. So now things, I hope the things are clear now. Okay, I hope I have cleared, क्योंकि जगदीश आपका क्वेश्चन तो आपका R interval and ratio scales variables always continuous. Absolutely correct, Sheetal ma'am. They are always continuous. They have to. Okay. Can you please again explain how age category is categorical? So Barkha ma'am, कुछ नहीं करना, मीन निकाल के देखिए एज कैटेगरी का, जब निकल जाए तो मुझे बता देना. So if you cannot calculate mean, it's a categorical. So sir, for age we can calculate the mean age of population. For age we can calculate the mean age. समझ में नहीं आया, ये यूजर कौन है? Who is this user? Mean age of population. That is not age, that is age category user. Okay. So Naveen, can we say that continuous data and quantitative data are same? Absolutely correct. Naveen, you are on the right track. Okay, Anis, what about brand preference? Brand preference? Yeah, brand preference. Can you calculate the mean of brand preference? No, Anis. It is a categorical data. Anonymous attendee, please explain, is equal to 2 and more than 2. Yes, anonymous attendee, I am going to tell you that. Don't worry. Anonymous attendee says in case 1, 2. What is this case? Okay, fine. I'll tell you. Bhavya Jain, sir, what test can I apply in a situation where I have 3-year biomedical waste, okay, and waste generated per patient per bed? Regards. Okay, fine. So, what test can I apply depends on what is your objective. Okay, इसके बारे में हम बात करते हैं. Who is this? कौन है ये? कौन है जिन्होंने क्वेश्चन किया? भव्य जैन. Yes, भव्य, we will discuss about that. मुझे लगता है मेरे अगले वाले इसमें you will get things clear. हमारे पास समय बहुत कम है. Okay, sir, please give me some example of each test once again. I'll give you. Yogeshwari, don't worry. Sir, I'm collecting data of farmers in a particular state who are engaged in organic farming and its value chain. Great. So which test will be most appropriate for this study? कैसी बातें करते हो आप? Sayo, Wono, Savi. See, the thing is, ये टेस्ट ये बहुत कमाल की चीज है. समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि क्यों बार बार आप टेस्ट पूछ रहे हैं. So let me clear something. तो अभी मैं यहाँ पर कुछ let me take you through something important. Okay, just a minute. कुछ confusions हैं आपको. If DV is categorical and IV, that is dependent variable is categorical and independent variable is continuous, then which test is applicable? नव्या एक बात बताओ मुझे, क्या मैंने अभी तक कहीं भी डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल और इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल बोला था? तो आप क्यों बोली? आप मुझसे पूछें कि कैटेगोरिकल और कॉन्टिन्यूअस हो तो कौन सा टेस्ट लगेगा, तो कहां पर था डिपेंडेंट एंड इंडिपेंडेंट? डिपेंडेंस और इंडिपेंडेंस नहीं होता रिलेशनशिप में, सिर्फ रिलेशनशिप होती है. वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट दैट नाउ. वेट. गुड मॉर्निंग Firdaus Khan, sir, thank you for explaining so passionately. If you are used to multiple choice questions, if I have used a multiple choice question with ordinal options and used dummy scores, multiple choice with ordinal options and use dummy scores, then I create categories based on 4 quartiles of the entire sample data for that question. Okay, then can I call a fine measurement as categorical? Yes, absolutely. You are absolutely on track, Firdaus, because there are categories, 4 categories. Okay, wonderful. Which research book is best for computer science? हो तो गया ये तो सब हो गया. Whether categorical verb may also have normal. Oh, देवेंद्र साहब, डॉक्टर देवेंद्र कुमार यादव, बस इतना समझ लीजिए साहब कि how can you make a distribution of categorical data, male and female, इनका कैसे distribution करेंगे आप? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So there is no point of talking about distribution of this categorical data. There is something called binomial distribution. ये जरूर कोई चीज होती है जिसको हमें समझना चाहिए, but that is beyond the scope of this particular entire workshop. So binomial distribution हम नहीं कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर. So देवेंद्र साहब, in case of categorical data, there is no distribution. So no distribution, only chi-square. Great. So जरा सा समझते हैं, जो बार बार बोले कि टेस्ट कौन सा करें, ये तो बहुत अजीब सी बात है ना. टेस्ट कौन सा करें नहीं होता है, because what is the meaning of this test? Very important. So I really call people who actually say कौन सा टेस्ट करें are the cute researchers. मैं उनको क्यूट रिसर्चर बोलता हूँ. मेरे पास लोग आते हैं, सर कौन सा टेस्ट करें? मैं कहता हूँ हाइपोथेसिस क्या है? सर वो तो बनाया नहीं. तो ऐसे लोगों को मैं बोलता हूँ क्यूट रिसर्च. बड़ा क्यूट सा मुंह बना के बोलते हैं फिर वो, सर वो तो बनाया नहीं. So it's important when you talk about test, what is this meaning of this test, है ना? जैसे आप मुझे बोले, as you say, see I have gone for blood test. blood test. जैसे आपने बोला ब्लड टेस्ट, मैंने कहा ओ फाइन, ग्रेट, क्या बात है, आपने ब्लड टेस्ट किया. क्या था आपको? आपको क्या था? तो आप बोलेंगे था, पता नहीं क्या था. So how would you, so why you have gone for blood test? So it means blood, so it is not actually the blood test, it is actually something like you have tested some parameters, कुछ पैरामीटर्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम बोलते हैं कोरोना टेस्ट कराया था क्या. नो, व्हाट डज दैट मीन? द टेस्ट व्हिच identifies whether there is corona or not. So let's talk about what when I say T test, when I say T test, when I say F test, when I say chi-square test. What is this test? एक टेस्ट क्या है? किसको टेस्ट कर रहा हूं मैं? Whom I am testing. So here I am testing a hypothesis. याद रखिएगा, I am testing a hypothesis. Okay, it may be null hypothesis, it may be alternate hypothesis, but I am testing a hypothesis. अभी आपने मेरे से, कई लोगों ने मेरे से प्रश्न किए. No, people actually ask this question. What the question they ask? Sir, which test I should go for? So my question is, what is your hypothesis, either null or alternate? So your hypothesis, so your hypothesis would be having two variables, variable 1 and variable 2. For example, gender has no impact, has no influence on weight. So what is the relationship between gender and weight? Since gender is a categorical data with two categories, male and female, two categories, and weight is a continuous data, okay, then, and I would like to test the hypothesis that gender has no influence on weight, I'll go for T test. भाई यही तो चीज बताई थी मैंने आपको, ये यहाँ पर ये, तो ये क्या बताया था? वेरिएबल 1 एंड वेरिएबल 2. एंड विच टेस्ट? सो यू मस्ट लिंक योर हाइपोथेसिस. तो याद रखिएगा, हाइपोथेसिस में दो बातें आपको हमेशा याद रखनी है. हाइपोथेसिस की क्या? हाइपोथेसिस हमेशा दो वेरिएबल्स के बीच में होता है. सो दिस इज स्टेप 1, वेरिएबल 1, वेरिएबल 2. फिर आप बनाइए, सो आपने हाइपोथेसिस बना दिया, देन आइडेंटिफाई देयर स्केल, स्केल ऑफ वेरिएबल 1, स्केल ऑफ वेरिएबल 2. On the basis of scale, decide test. Simple. I hope you have got the answer of your questions कि सर कौन सा टेस्ट लगाऊं, सर मैंने ऐसे किया फार्मर्स ये वो सब कुछ, कौन सा टेस्ट लगाऊं? पहले बताइए, what is your hypothesis? Hypothesis can be developed between two variables. आप मुझे दो वेरिएबल्स बताइए कौन से, मैं आपको टेस्ट बता दूंगा. आप अपना हाइपोथेसिस भी बता दीजिए, या आप खुद ही कर लेंगे, मैं क्यों बताऊंगा, मैंने तो बता दिया. ओके, चलिए, आई होप नाउ द थिंग्स आर क्लियर फॉर यू. शुरू करते हैं, चलते हैं अपनी पीपीटीज पर. अभी तक एक ही स्लाइड हुई है. वाई टेस्ट ये हो गया है हमारा, क्लियर है ना? वाई टू डू टेस्ट? बिकॉज आई वांट टू टेस्ट माय हाइपोथेसिस. If there is no hypothesis, there is no test. Okay, people come to me, say, and that's why I call them as cute researchers, because they say कि सर कौन सा टेस्ट लगाना है. मैं कहता हूँ हाइपोथेसिस क्या है? सर वो तो बनाया नहीं. समटाइम्स तो टेस्ट भी लगा के आ जाते हैं, सर मैंने टी टेस्ट लगाया. क्या बात है सर, मैंने अनोवा लगाया. अच्छा, हाइपोथेसिस क्या था? हाइपोथेसिस नहीं बनाया था सर. So in that case, it is really very difficult. So ऐसे भी गुस्सा नहीं आता है ना, ऐसे भी लगता है कि यार how cute this man is. So that is fine. So that is why I call them as a cute researchers. Okay, so why test? You must have understood that. So because I want to do test because I have made hypothesis and I want to test my hypothesis. That's why I'm doing this test. Simple. Now, how to make the hypothesis? What is the way of making the hypothesis? And which hypotheses are ideal hypothesis, means or null hypothesis or the alternate hypothesis? अब इतने सारे प्रश्नों के उत्तर तो एक सेशन में नहीं दिए जा सकते. So then you actually have to sit for a longer time. Okay, so how to select a test? ये हम बात कर चुके हैं. Does the test involve one sample, two samples, and more than two samples? अरे भाई ये क्या है? What is this one sample? What is this two sample? No, हाँ ये हम भी सुनते हैं ना, two independent sample t test. How is it possible? How many studies are there where people have selected two samples? I have taken one sample and I actually used that cross-sectional study and I had only one sample. Then how it is a two sample or how it is a paired sample? What do you mean by this paired sample? Whether the samples are related or not? तो ये क्या है? इसके बारे में भी हमें पता होना चाहिए. What is the measurement? The second is, if two and more samples are involved, are the samples independent or related? अब फिर दोबारा से आपके दिमाग में ये प्रश्न आ गया होगा, यार जब मैंने लिया ही एक सैंपल है, I have taken only one sample and the sample of say 100 people, then how can it be a two independent sample test? So this is something which I am really concerned for. Actually, your one sample actually is representing different populations, and those different populations, okay, are being represented by your categories. Very simple. नहीं है समझ में? आएगा भी नहीं. हम इसको ऐसे समझते हैं, यहां से ये देखिए ध्यान से. Now just see this particular data set. I hope that you can see my data set. Just see this data set. Now see, this is one sample. So this is one sample of 90 people. Okay, 90 respondents. Okay, and these are the observation. This is respondent number 1's observation, respondent number 2's observation, respondent number 3's observations. है ना? ऐसे ही है बिल्कुल. Yes. Okay. Now see the variable number 1. Now variable number 1 is gender, which is categorical in nature. Now this one sample actually is representing two populations. What are those two populations? The population of males and population of females. In case if I calculate the mean weight of males and mean weight of females, then I can easily say that this is the mean weight of male and this is the mean weight of female. Then I would say my mean weight of male represents the male population and mean weight of female represents the female population. It means your two categories are representing two populations. So it means these two categories are representing two samples from two populations. So your one sample, actually this one sample has two samples. One sample is of males and the second sample of females. So, and hence we call it as two independent sample. Since male and females are independent of each other. Agreed or not? So they have nothing to do with each other here in this sample. So since males and females are independent of each other, that is why we call it as two independent sample t-test. Okay. I hope things are clear now. So why we call it as two independent sample? Sample was one, but the number of categories has actually made it two samples. So in case if we look at this profession which has 5 categories, means it is representing 5 samples, not 2. So 5 independent samples. So when I want to compare 5 independent samples, I cannot go for t-test. That is why I have written there, when the number of categories are more than 2, we should go for f-test. That is ANOVA. So in case if I want to see the difference between profession, the relationship between profession and weight, where the number of categories in profession is more than 2, agreed or not, we go for ANOVA. I hope the things are clear for you now. And if it is not, then you can ask your question. Okay, what is your confusion? So on ranking Q, which test is apply? Again, again. In case if it is ranking data, Deepa, then we should never, ever go for parametric test. Always non-parametric test. Okay. Nishtha, good morning, sir. If I want to analyze gap between two actual and required, you want to see the gap. Now, what is the gap? What do you mean by this gap? So in case if actual is this and required is this, so actual is one value or required is the values, then it is one sample t-test. Okay, because you have actual one value and not actual is the number of values, because you have done the number of experiments, and the required value is one value, है ना. For example, आपकी निष्ठा देसी घी बनाने की फैक्ट्री है, okay. So you have a factory of manufacturing desi ghee, and the name of that desi ghee is Nishtha ghee. So in that case, you manufacture 1 kg of of packets. So now of late you have started getting the complaints from the market कि मैडम आपका घी जो है वो 1 किलो से कम आ रहा है हर बार, आपके जो कंपनी का जो घी है वो कम आ रहा है उसमें डब्बों में. So what you will do, you will go to your store and you will take a random sample of 100 packets, and then you will you will weigh them, and then you will calculate the mean weight. So when you have 100 samples, so 100 packet, the sample of 100 packets. So means each packet weight is being compared by 1 kg. So that is the required value, है ना. यही कहना था ना. और actual value क्या था, जो उसका weight था, say 850 ग्राम, है ना, 890 ग्राम. So and what was required, 1 kg. So 1 kg is the one, is the required one. So this is one sample t-test. Okay, Nishtha ma'am, then you will apply. So what would be your null hypothesis? What will be your null hypothesis, Nishtha? So your null hypothesis would be so what is the definition of null hypothesis? Status is status quo. Nothing is changed. No action required. All complaints are wrong. So this is null hypothesis. So what is null hypothesis? The mean weight of all your packets is equal to 1 kg. So this is the null hypothesis. Huh? So this is how you need to understand null hypothesis as well. Deepa Jain, sir, I have taken ranking of options. Yeah. तो आपको ranking में आपको दीपा यही करना होगा. Abida Akhtar, sir, kindly elaborate the concept of population should have equal variances. अभी तो बताया था मैंने, ये तो बात हो चुकी है आबिदा अख्तर जी. अच्छा, पुरानी बात है, आपको पुराना लिखा हुआ है. ओके, मैं ऊपर हूँ, नीचे बहुत कुछ हो गया है. Okay. Okay, sorry. Nishtha Sharma, yes sir. How is it different from chi-square? Then actual and required versus actual and expected. So see, chi-square is something wherein, Nisha, you have to have categorical data. But here in actual and required, it is not categorical, it is continuous data. No, Nisha? How can you apply chi-square? Yeah, right. I hope you understand this. MBA student, HR, marketing, finance, male, female, sample is. What is sample is means what? Okay.
Sir, if you want, I can unmute any participant जिसका question नहीं समझ में आ रहा और आप अगर
नहीं, it's okay. You don't have to unmute because अगर in case if you unmute तो आपको पता नहीं 460 लोग बोलने लग जाएंगे.
It's okay, sir. It's your
So let's see. So Shampa Sarkar Vishwas sir, when do we call that sample are dependent on each other? Very good question, Shampa सरकार विश्वास. ये अच्छा बोला है कि ये डिपेंडेंट सैंपल कौन से होते हैं. अच्छा प्रश्न है. वेरी गुड, थैंक्स फॉर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन, Shampa. See, Shampa, if you can see my data set right now. Now, see, this is smoking status, smoking status of the respondent. So respondent number 1 does not smoke. Respondent number 2 does not smoke. Respondent number 3 smokes, and then this is how, yes, no, yes, no. Now we have done a treatment. Now a doctor actually has done a treatment of these smokers just to make them smoking free. So in that case, after the treatment, this was the response. This was the the outcome of the treatment of the doctor. And now these two variables, smoking and smoking after treatment, so these two variables are dependent on each other, because the same person has been given a kind of treatment, and then the outcome of the treatment is being measured. So two samples, when the sample is one, when the sample is one and two observations has been taken from that sample, before and after. For example, this weight, second, weight of the respondent and weight after treatment, means उनका exercise कराया डॉक्टर ने और उनका weight कम करने की कोशिश की. So the same number of respondents, so same set of respondents, you first measured their weight, then made them do some exercise and all for some time, and then after that you again measured their weight. So one set of sample, but the observations are two. That is called dependent samples, dependent variables. Okay, I hope now you got it. And how to test, like in case if it is a continuous data, and I would like to see, is there any impact of that a treatment on weight? I would like to see the impact. So variable 1 is continuous and variable 2 is continuous. Okay, no, it's about before and after. It's not variable 1 and variable 2, it's before and after. So weight before and weight after. So when there is before and after kind of thing, then it is a dependent variable. So we actually go for two dependent sample t-test. इसी का ही नाम होता है paired sample t-test. The same thing is known as paired sample t-test. Okay, it's a good question. Okay, question and answer. Nisha हो गया है. Sheetal, is number of students in is different classes a categorical? Absolutely, number of students in different classes. How it is categorical? Number of students. Yeah, it is a discrete data, but it is continuous. However, you do not have in decimals, but it is a continuous data in case if you want to take it. However, if you write the number of students, like say there are 8 sections, then you have 8 samples, 8 populations. Okay, so it's like that. Then you have different thing. Okay. Shreya Wono Savi, great sir, it's clear now. Okay. Anis sir, scale and scale, can we use correlation? Absolutely correct. You have to. Anis Akhtar, you are absolutely correct. When two variables, variable 1 is a scale, means is continuous. The variable 2 is scale, means continuous, that is numeric data, and you want to say the relationship and the assumptions are met. Then you can go for Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation, otherwise Spearman rank correlation or Candle Tau. Okay. Okay, ji. So great. That's a wonderful session with you all. So let's. So now we will start doing non-parametric tests on SPSS, and side by side we will start understanding how to do that. And we will use this particular slide in our next session. That in one sample, how we actually work on, 2 independent sample, how we actually have to work on, and then we'll see. Thank you so much. Thanks for this session. Yes, Dr. Anjali, are you there? Yes, Dr. Anjali, are you there? Dr. Purushottam, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am here.
Yes, sir. So, Dr. Purushottam, so I think this is, our next session will start at what time?
12 o'clock, sir. We will meet at 12 o'clock. Okay. Thank you for this session, sir.
Okay.
Sir, as such also, sir, 12 baje tak, you can log in by 11:55, sir. That will be okay, sir.
No, yes, I'll do that. 11:55. So we'll meet at 11:55, everyone. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank
sir,
you,
you want
Priya.
to continue to log in? You leave it login, sir, system pe ya abhi we can
login
end.
Login
rakh lete. Okay, sir. We'll continue to log in. Thank you.
I'll